Nyanki Namena, Namani. Nyanari Robert Kari Karamil Taylor. Naranjari, Nangaraki, Naranga, Kumagana Mirna. Mani Nabuni, Nadlukuyata, Tandaganyananga, Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year. Ganayata, South Australian Museum. Mani Nadlu Tampli Gana Mirna, Kumadalupana Yatanga Imbrendi, Tabantalo Bukiana, Burkana, Kumagana Mini Yalda, Na Yakandalia, Na Yungandalia, Na Chalia. Greetings, I hope you're well. My name is Robert Taylor. I come from 4 Aboriginal language groups, the Ngarrindjeri from the Coorong, the Nangaraku from the River Murray, the Naranga from the Yorke Peninsula, and the Kaurna from here in Adelaide and the Adelaide Plains. I welcome you to the Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year at the South Australian Museum on Kaurna Yatta, Adelaide, South Australia. I pay my respects to all Kaurna people, past and present, and extend that to all First Nations people throughout this great land. Nachalia, thank you.
Thank you, Robert, for welcoming us to Kaurna country. Good evening and welcome to the South Australian Museum in Adelaide for the announcement of the winners of the 2025 Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year competition. I'm here with the South Australian Museum's Manager of Exhibitions and Galleries, Tim Gilchrist. Tim, can you tell us about the Nature Photographer of the Year?
Thanks, Jess. The South Australian Museum is proud to own and produce the annual Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year competition and exhibition. The competition was founded in 2004 by Dr. Stuart Miller, who wanted to celebrate the incredible diversity of the region incorporating Australia, New Zealand, Antarctica and New Guinea. We call it the Anzac region. In 2009, Stuart gifted the competition to the South Australian Museum, and it's our pleasure to run it each year. This year's competition received another phenomenal response, with 1,864 submitted photographs. The 449 photographers who entered hail from 18 different countries. This demonstrates the competition's increasing international reach year upon year. The competition and exhibition wouldn't be possible without the South Australian Museum's incredible team, or without the support of our sponsors and partners, especially our principal sponsor, Australian Geographic.
Australian Geographic is so proud to support this award run by the South Australian Museum and to publish the work of category winners in our September-October issue. For almost 40 years, the magazine has been publishing nature photography and keeping an eye on the evolution of photographic talent in the region. Every week, I look through thousands of images in my role, and every year we eagerly anticipate what will be captured by the Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year finalists. Within this list, we're excited to see familiar names we work with attaining new heights in a sustained practice, but I'm also introduced to names that should be on my radar as future collaborators on our commissions. We see this award as a challenge pushing photographers to break ground, but most importantly, as a network of people who share the same curious spirit and values that underpin respectful and informed work within this genre. Congratulations to all finalists, and especially to our winners this evening.
I'd also like to thank our production partner Atkins, which prints the exhibition for us here in Adelaide with such great care. And thank you to our prize partner Coral Expeditions for its generous prize to our 2025 overall winner. We are delighted to receive continued support for the Threatened Species category, which is presented in memory of Katerina Gabatova. And of course, Dr. Stuart Miller and his sister Mrs. Alison Huber, who continue as the competition's patrons in memory of their parents. Thank you all. We also appreciate the support from the South Australian Government and are pleased to share this message from Andrea Michaels MP, Minister for Arts.
The South Australian Museum should be commended for the Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year competition. This amazing competition and the resulting exhibition showcases exactly what the museum's all about, preserving and recording our natural and cultural heritage. The quality of this year's finalists is outstanding, and it's a credit to our judges who had to make their selections from almost 2,000 entries. The competition has now been running for 22 years, and I hope it continues to showcase nature in all its glory for a long time yet to come under the care of the South Australian Museum. These images and the thousands that have come before them provide all of us with a crucial connection to the natural world. My congratulations go to the winners and to those who've been shortlisted. It's a remarkable achievement. Well done to all of you. I encourage everyone to come and see the exhibition firsthand at the South Australian Museum. You won't be disappointed.
Thank you, Minister Michaels. As Tim mentioned, there was a phenomenal response to this year's competition, which meant our panel of judges had their work cut out for them. This year's competition judges were Scott Patelli, David Stowe and Jasmine Vink. Together, they brought a wealth of photographic and creative knowledge to the competition with significant expertise in wildlife photography. They selected 99 final photographs to feature in the exhibition. Over the course of the judging process, they remarked on the quality and calibre of the entries and agreed that the photographs tell an impactful story of nature across the region. On behalf of the South Australian Museum, we'd like to thank Scott, David and Jasmine. And now to the reason we're here. It's time to share with you the winners in this year's Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year competition. First up is the aerial category, photographs that are taken from an elevated position from a vantage point or using a drone. The runner-up is Dylan DeHaas from Western Australia with Waves of Influence, an overhead photo of a tiger shark. The winner is Charles Davis from New South Wales with his photo Jabiru Leaf. In fact, not an image of a leaf at all, but a retreating tide over mudflats. Judges praised Charles's ability to trick the eye, revealing the textured landscape and impeccable timing to incorporate the stalk.
It's a great honour to win the aerial category. I have a lot of that picture to owe to my good friend Roger Nowlan. He was the chopper pilot in the Kimberley for decades, and one of his favourite spots was that area up near Wyndham, and he'd always send me photos from his iPhone that he'd taken out of the chopper, probably not in the safest way, of those beautiful receding lines that were left in the mud. And I'd always meant to go there, so it was apt that after Roger passed away and I went up north for his memorial, that later we took a chopper flight out there to see those enormous mud flats in the Kimberley. And I had the idea in my head that I would find a bird, because birds can be quite hard to find sometimes. And yeah, I thought I would get a tree, sort of looking straight down, and maybe some kind of bird, but I never imagined I'd get a giant leaf and an enormous blackneck stalk like I did, and things like that. You know, you can plan, you can schedule, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of luck involved, because animals are not easy to find sometimes. So, yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, Charles. Up next is the category Astrophotography. The runner-up is Kevin Che from New Zealand for Crown of Light, a unique display of the calm Aurora Australis against the rough ocean in the foreground. And the winner is Oberon Kenobi by Marley Butler from Western Australia, a magnificent photograph of a bright aurora glowing over a Tasmanian alpine lake. The judges commented on the stunning colour palette as the crisp landscape mirrors the aurora in the sky.
Hi everyone, I'm Marley, the photographer behind the image Oberon Kenobi. First, I'd like to thank everyone who's been involved in the awards and congratulate all the other recipients and finalists. It's another amazing set of images this year. Like most astrophotography, my image is a result of planning, getting lucky with conditions and losing some sleep. It's rarely both still and clear at this location, so I was quite lucky. There's a lot going on in this image. I initially didn't like the green air glow that's over most of the sky, but I eventually grew to love it. There was so much air glow that I didn't realise until I got home months later that there was actually an aurora captured in the lower right of the sky. And of course there's the galactic core, Magellanic Clouds, and the violet Kaurna Nebula at the top of the core. Thanks again to all involved with the competition, and I hope everyone can make it down to the exhibition. Thank you.
Congratulations, Marley. And now we turn to the macro category. For the second year in a row, the macro category runner-up is Jakub Hodan from Slovakia. Peppermint stick insect is an amazing and creative shot of a camouflage stick insect resting on a leaf. And the winner is Talia Grice from New South Wales for Liftoff, a beautiful deep water photograph of a paper nautilus hitching a ride on a passing jellyfish. This technically hard to capture image, strong composition and exceptional lighting really impressed the judges.
Hi there, my name is Talia Grace and I am the winner of the macro category for Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year 2025. A huge thank you to the judges and the team at Australian Geographic. I cannot tell you what this means to me. I have very fond memories of flipping through the Australian Geographic coffee table book when I first started taking photos, and I just remember finding the imagery so inspiring. So to be able to be a part of this year's collection is a true honour, so thank you very much. My photo was taken in Indonesia during a blackwater dive, which is a very interesting method of diving. You're essentially driven out into the middle of the ocean in the middle of the night and dropped into the water with very powerful lights. Keeping in mind there's nothing between you and the bottom of the ocean but hundreds and hundreds of meters of water. And essentially these very bright lights attract these incredible, interesting, fascinating critters to the surface. And it's bizarre. It's almost like floating through space, except instead of stars, you have these tiny microscopic critters just drifting on by. It's considered to be the greatest vertical migration in the world. So to be able to capture a paper nautilus drifting on a jellyfish during this dive was fascinating to witness, let alone photograph. So thank you again, and I hope you enjoy.
Congratulations, Talia. Now moving on to the landscape category. And the runner-up is William Patino from New Zealand for Enchanted Forest, a spectacular landscape of silver beech trees dusted in snow, glistening in the sunshine. The winner in the landscape category is Darren Wassell from Queensland for The Beast, an atmospheric scene of a lightning bolt hitting the ocean during a severe storm. The judges commented on the impeccable timing and beautiful colour palette to produce this perfectly composed scene.
I just want to say thank you very much to Australian Geographic and the South Australian Museum for announcing me Landscape Category winner in the Nature Photographer of the Year 2025. It is an absolute honour and privilege. I hold this competition in really high regard, so to be announced winner is very humbling and I very much appreciate it. I just want to say with that shelf cloud that came towards me that afternoon, it was an amazing sight to see, and to have that bolt come from that position in the shelf cloud was the only one that night, so it was absolutely amazing. I also want to congratulate all of the other finalists and all of the other winners. Some amazing work on display, and congratulations to all. Thank you very much and have a great night.
Congratulations, Darren. It really is such a striking scene. The next category is threatened species, for any species listed as vulnerable, endangered or critically endangered on the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List. This category is presented in memory of Katerina Gebretova. The runner-up this year is Stefan Forster from the USA for At the Peak of His Game, a striking angle of a rifle bird. The winner is Etienne Littlefair from the Northern Territory for Red Dawn, capturing a flying ghost bat. The judges appreciated the technical challenge to produce such an image. The photograph is excellently composed using pre-dawn light to give a sense of time and place.
Thank you for the opportunity to take part in this photo competition. I'm honoured to have won the Threatened Species Award for the second time. The first was in 2019. Since then, I've met many wonderful people and made many lasting friendships through the awards. The competition is great for connecting people, but it plays an equally important role in highlighting species that would otherwise fly under the radar, like ghost bats. And ghost bats are especially meaningful for me, as the area around my home in the Northern Territory appears to be a significant stronghold for the species, whereas in other parts of their range they've declined sharply in recent decades following things like habitat degradation, roost site disturbance, and interactions with feral animals. Observations are increasingly rare, and each one is valuable. Photographing ghost bats in action is very challenging, and not just technically. Each result comes off the back of many hours observation using a thermal optic to monitor their movement paths and flight paths. Any attempt without this groundwork would just be a shot in the dark.
Congratulations, Etienne. And now we move from the world of colour to the monochrome category. Our runner-up this year is Justin Gilligan from New South Wales with Inquisitive Currawong, a striking photograph of a Lord Howe currawong with an old world feel. And the winner is Rochelle McIntosh from New South Wales with Party Streamer, a killer whale emerging from the ocean with her prey hanging from her mouth. Judges remarked on Rochelle's powerful shot. They were struck by the detail in the dramatic scene of the imposing predator in the strong waves.
Hi everyone, wowee, thank you so much to the South Australian Museum, to Australian Geographic and of course to the extraordinarily gifted judges for choosing my image. To me, the very best images reveal rather than reflect. And what was revealed to me as I was shooting this image was that we humans may think that we're superior and intelligent and powerful, but there's an equally powerful and intelligent force at play in the ocean, and that's the orcas. Now, they may not have opposable thumbs, but they're pretty freaking powerful, and that was revealed to me as I was shooting this. So thank you so much to the Naturalist Charters team for having me on board, and to my friend Keith Lightbody for making it all happen, and also to the beautiful orca we can see here, WA 007 Orca Swirl, for giving me this incredible insight into her world. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Congratulations, Rochelle. The next category is Our Impact, where photographers document human impact on the natural world. This year's runner-up is Joanna Kelly from New South Wales with Metal Only, depicting white ibis thriving on our waste. And the winner is Skink in a Tight Spot by Sarah Corliss from New South Wales. The photograph captures a garden lizard trapped in a brick wall. The judges were impressed by Sarah's use of the photographic medium to document this uncomfortable moment and precarious situation.
Thank you to the South Australian Museum. Thank you to Australian Geographic. Thank you to the supporters and sponsors of this amazing opportunity for photographers. And thank you to the judges. That small skink was stuck in the hole in my backyard for quite a while. I had walked past and noticed it was wriggling and was thinking, how am I ever going to get you out of there? And while I was photographing it, I was really putting a plan together of how I was going to try to save this little one. And just after I'd finished photographing, I'd put my camera down and I was thinking, tongs, fingers, how am I going to do this without hurting you? And it was able to wriggle itself free. So I'm very grateful that it was able to get free. This sort of photo could happen in anyone's backyard, and that's what I think is quite miraculous about this photo. So thank you so much.
Well done, Sarah. We move now to our Animals in Nature category. The runner-up is Charles Davis from New South Wales with The Leap, a superb action shot of a jumping spotted tail quoll. And the winner is PJ and Crabs, an amazing overhead shot of a Port Jackson shark, again by Charles Davis from New South Wales. The judges were impressed by Charles's ability to capture so much texture, detail and atmosphere in this unique moment as the predator moves over its prey.
To win a second prize is, I'm quite speechless. I didn't expect to win again. The Animals in Nature category is probably my favourite category, as it's got the most wildlife in it. And as a wildlife photographer, you know, that's the prize I want to win. Animals are not always easy to find, so, you know, to be able to be part of a mass congregation like I was with all those crabs, just basketball court size area of them, and you know, it was just such a surreal experience. But I really have to thank Maddie Smith, who taught me how to use an underwater camera. I'd never used one until 6 months before I took that photo. And also Jules Casey, who, without her help, there's no way in hell I would have got that photo. I'd only just learned how to free dive and I'd never been to that area. But the ironic thing is there was 7 other people in the water that day and I was the only one free diving. So I guess I had that top-down perspective and it was sort of a different point of view and it allowed me to see a photo that no one else did. And again, you know, lots of planning, but a little bit of luck. And it all paid off, and yeah, thank you. This is an absolute pleasure.
Congratulations, Charles. Such an incredible shot. Now we turn our attention to the junior category, open to anyone under the age of 18. And the runner-up is Jamie Smart from Wales for Death in Paradise, capturing the declining blacktip reef shark and devastating effect of illegal net fishing. And the winner of the junior category is South Australian Isabella Rogers for Perched, a beautiful image of two galahs resting on a light post in the morning light. The judges commented on Isabella's excellent use of composition and ability to provide the viewer with a strong sense of place and time.
Hi, my name is Isabella Rogers. I am honoured to accept the award of 2025 Australian Geographic Junior Nature Photographer of the Year. I would like to thank the judges and congratulate all the other entries. I'd also like to thank the SA Museum for displaying and hosting the event. I've learnt so much about myself as a photographer, and I would like to thank the Australian Geographic for this opportunity. Thank you.
Congratulations, Isabella, and all the junior finalists. Now it's time to turn our attention to the winner of the Portfolio Prize. Photographers are invited to select a collection of 6 images to enter as a portfolio with a shared theme of the photographer's choice. This category always results in an incredibly diverse field of portfolios across myriad subjects, themes and styles. 2025 Portfolio Prize winner is Peter McGee from New South Wales with a celebration of marine diversity. Judges said Peter's collection of images is a great representation of what you can find beneath our waters. Each animal has been considered in its own right and photographed using different lighting techniques.
Wow, I'm incredibly honoured to be the winner of the portfolio category in this year's competition. What an absolute thrill and privilege. To the Australian Geographic and the South Australian Museum, thank you for hosting this wonderful competition and for your unwavering dedication in showcasing photos from our natural world. To my fellow finalists, I'm inspired to be counted among such a passionate and skilled group of photographers. My portfolio features 6 cephalopod species. It's particularly meaningful for me that these are images of creatures that I find endlessly fascinating and that the photos are taken at local dive sites close to my home in Sydney. It certainly makes those chilly night dives even more worthwhile. Once again, thank you for this tremendous honour. Thank you to Australian Geographic, the SAM, the judges and everyone involved.
What a striking group of images. Congratulations, Peter. Okay, now for the final announcement and time to reveal the overall winner of the 2025 Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year. I'm very excited to reveal that the overall winner is Ross Gudgeon from Western Australia for Fractal Forest, a unique perspective of cauliflower coral taken on the Lembah Strait, Indonesia. Judges said this was an exceptional photograph that manages to skew the viewer's perception and leaves us questioning reality. Is this nature or a painting?
Winning the 2025 Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year is a huge honour. I never imagined I'd win such a prestigious award in a field of such highly talented photographers. This award is a highlight of my underwater photographic journey, which began in 1979 when I did my first scuba dive. I can still remember the thought that went through my mind on that dive. I've got to get a camera, no one will believe this. Unlike many of the previous winning images of this award that had tales of tragedy, disaster and epic expeditions behind them, the story of my image is relatively boring. It was taken on a trip to Lembah Strait in northeast Sulawesi in Indonesia. Normally dives here are full of weird and wonderful critters, but on this dive there was little of interest to photograph. At one point I found myself surrounded by many clumps of cauliflower soft coral. From the outside they aren't terribly photogenic as they look like clumps of red cauliflower. Fortunately on this dive I was using the Nauticam Extended Macro Wide Lens, or EMWL for short, which is an underwater version of the probe or insect eye lens. Due to its long length, small diameter, close focus and wide field of view, this lens allows for the capture of unique perspectives that are impossible with conventional lenses. I decided to experiment with the EMWL on the soft coral to try and get a different view of a common life form. I carefully threaded the end of the EMWL through the branches of the soft coral so as not to damage them to take an image looking from the inside out. After some trial and error and with background lighting from my strobes, I was able to produce my winning image. The moral of the story is that beauty can be found anywhere, even with uninteresting subjects. The right equipment, lateral thinking and experimentation can produce amazing images. Many thanks to the judges, Australian Geographic and the South Australian Museum for this amazing honour and for all the work that goes into producing an event like this each year. I would like to thank Mary, my wife, and Di Buddy for her endless support and encouragement over the last 40 years. Congratulations to all the winners and finalists in this year's competition. I hope to catch up with some of you at the opening of the 2025 Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year exhibition. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ross. Such an artistic photograph capturing the magic of nature. We look forward to sharing your work as part of the exhibition here at the South Australian Museum.
We've loved sharing these winning images with you and hope you've enjoyed seeing them. Congratulations to all of the finalists and the winners. The Australian Geographic Nature Photographer of the Year exhibition opens to the public this Saturday, the 30th of August at the South Australian Museum and runs until Sunday, the 1st of February. Tickets can be purchased via the museum's website. When you visit the exhibition, make sure you pick up a copy of the catalogue. They make great presents. Thanks so much for joining us.